Turn things over to First Alert meteorologist Rob Elvington with the latest conditions out there. Rob.
Hey, good afternoon. We'll start off by once again taking a look at this product. This is from the College of DuPage. This is the GO-16 satellite. We've been showing this over the last couple of days, and I like to show this because it has the natural background, so you can really pick out the smoke that is moving through the North State. We also have a little bit of convection off to the east into Nevada and off to our southeast. Those are clouds, but all of this that you see right here, this is smoke, and of course most of the smoke is coming from the Carr fire. You can actually see the main smoke plume, and it actually looks like there's two smoke plumes right now with the Carr fire. You can see one right here and then another one right here. And you'll notice that what we've been seeing throughout the day today, a lot of the low-level smoke has been dropping due south throughout the valley. That's because of the surface winds up to about 5,000 feet have been northerly, but as you head closer to about 10,000 feet, the winds are from out of the west. So as that smoke gets a little bit higher up, it starts to scoot off to the east. So you'll notice how you have kind of two big plumes of smoke right now. You have one to the south and one moving off to the east and northeast. And you'll also notice a little bit further off to the northwest, that's all the smoke from those fires that are burning in southwest Oregon. Those are lightning fires that started about 2 weeks ago, and some of that smoke is drifting south into California. So if you're in Siskiyou County, even northern Shasta County, you're getting a little bit of both of the smoke from those fires. And of course, this is all just marine stratus up against the coast. That is not any fire smoke that we are worried about. All right, let's switch back over to our regular weather graphics. This is the fire temperature graphic. We've been showing this quite a bit over the last few weeks, and this is great for picking up fire activity from the infrared products on our satellite. This is the same satellite we were just looking at. This is the GO-16 satellite. This image was taken a little over 30 minutes ago, and you can clearly see that the Carr fire is very active once again. Unfortunately, I've actually seen some brighter temperatures showing up. We're starting to see a little bit more of the yellow showing up, so indicating even a little bit more heat with this fire as we head later into the afternoon hours. You'll also notice these little specks right here. These are all those lightning fires that started about 2 weeks ago in southwest and central parts of Oregon. So some of that smoke is moving south into northern California, but by far this is the most active fire right now. And this is by far the biggest, the hottest and the most active fire in California. Even the Ferguson fire, much weaker at this time compared to the Carr fire. Oak Bottom, this station's still online. Now, one thing I have noticed, the winds, so the anemometer that measures the winds, it has not reported any wind direction or wind speed in about 7 hours, so it's likely that that is offline. However, the temperature continues to update, so the thermometer is still working with that weather station, and it's up to 115, and this is also the 3 o'clock update, so this is about an hour old at this point. Humidity is at 10%, so almost down into the single digits. Again, this is the Oak Bottom weather station in the Whiskeytown area. Redding, 113, that is a tied record high for this day. At the Redding Airport. East winds right now at about 8 miles per hour. So we are starting to see those winds turn a little bit. And what we'll probably see here in the valley as we head through the rest of this afternoon and into the early evening hours, we may briefly switch to a south wind. That south wind has been working its way up the valley. Red Bluff has been in a south wind for about 2 hours now. We're just starting to see that wind shift in Redding. So we may briefly go into a south wind in Redding. And then once we hit about 7, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock this evening, it's going to turn back out of the north and northwest with winds picking up. But 113 right now in Redding. That is also the warmest high of the year so far. We hit 111 yesterday, so we have surpassed yesterday's high. And you'll also notice the relative humidity values at 8%. Very dry air in place. Our dew point, 39 degrees. It's a pretty low dew point. On Monday, when we had all that monsoon moisture in place, we had dew points up to about 65 degrees. So much, much drier air in place than just a few days ago. There's a look at the rest of the temperatures here in the 4 o'clock hour. 113 in Redding. Red Bluff, you've actually dropped off since those south winds have arrived. So you're down to 108 now after seeing 110 earlier this afternoon. 103 in Corning, 100 degrees in Chico. So we are getting some delta breeze coming up the valley. So that's some good news for places like Butte County, Glenn County, and into Tehama County. Look at Weaverville up to 106, 104 in Hayfork, and 95 degrees right now for Mount Shasta City. So concerned about the heat and, of course, the fire, but also concerned about the air quality conditions with all of this smoke from the fires here in Northern California. Wherever you see red, that is unhealthy AQI levels, and then the oranges, that's unhealthy for sensitive groups, and then the yellow, that's moderate air quality levels, but even in moderate, you still need to limit your time outdoors. And even close to Chico and Oroville, we're seeing some unhealthy for sensitive groups popping up, but by far the worst conditions right now are closer to Shasta County because of the Carr fire, but even some of that smoke from the fires in Oregon drifting down into the north coast. So let's take a look at the forecast winds and relative humidity. So this is at 5 o'clock, so about an hour from now. Relative humidity values down into the single digits for the valley. You'll notice, though, the only wind barbs that you see on this map are these red ones that are mostly offshore, a few showing up closer to southern Trinity County. The way we have this map built, we only have wind barbs pop up if the wind gets up to 15 miles per hour. So likely seeing some winds around 5 to 10 miles per hour. But as we head through the rest of this evening, you'll notice around about 8 o'clock, we're starting to see those northwest winds picking up. So this is northwest winds at least 15 miles per hour, moving right over top of the Carr fire. So that's going to continue to push that fire east and southeast. Again, this is 8 o'clock tonight. Still really dry air in place. Look at the relative humidity values, close to the low teens and even single digits. 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, just like this morning, the winds drop off in the overnight hours. Allows for the relative humidity values to come up a little bit, but still some very low relative humidity values in the overnight hours. And just like today, another hot day tomorrow with low relative humidity values in the afternoon. Winds really don't start to pick up until the evening. This is 8 o'clock tomorrow. So you'll notice the northwest winds picking up once again by the evening hours around 8 o'clock tomorrow. So unfortunately, we'll have to continue to deal with that over the next 2 to 3 days. How about the winds at 10,000 feet? We were just looking at surface winds. Winds at 10,000 feet are mostly from out of the west and southwest as we head through the rest of today and into your Friday afternoon, even a little bit more of a southwesterly wind at 10,000 feet tomorrow. So once that smoke plume punches through the inversion in the middle to late afternoon hours, these upper level winds start to grab onto that smoke plume and send a lot of that high level smoke off to the east and northeast. And that's what we're starting to see right now. Fire danger rating, this is from the National Interagency Fire Center. We've got very high to extreme fire level danger ratings right now throughout the valley and the foothills. And you'll notice right by the Carr fire, very high to extreme. And this is fuels plus the weather forecast. So alive and dead fuels plus the weather forecast. So you take the fuel load that's in place, and then you take the temperature, the relative humidity, and the winds expected, and you add those together to get your fire danger rating. So that's the big concern. A closer view of the visible satellite. Again, you can see the smoke plume from the Carr fire, and if you look close enough, it looks like there's two big smoke plumes. You've got one right here, and then maybe one right here, and the main smoke plume is starting to push off to the east and northeast, but a lot of that smoke below, let's say, 5,000 or 6,000 feet, still kind of drifting off to the south throughout the rest of the North State. You can also see these smoke plumes on the radar. All that particulate from the fire, of course, the ash gets picked up by the radar. So you can see the radar picking up from the Carr fire right now in Shasta County. And we also still have all these products in place. Excessive heat warning in place through tomorrow evening for the valley and the surrounding foothills. Heat advisories also still in place through tomorrow. And I tell you what, these will likely get extended, at least for the northern tip of the valley. We're not expecting much of a cool off heading into Saturday and Sunday. Reading still close to 110 for both Saturday and Sunday afternoon. Back to you.
Thank you, Rob. Be sure to head to our Facebook page for continuous coverage of the Carr fire. We have our team out in the field getting information for you as it happens. Just search for KRCR TV on Facebook, and we'll see you back here tonight at 5 o'clock for the latest on the Carr fire.
Save up to $500 on select pet safe and kid-friendly Stainmaster carpet.